Hey Hodies, welcome back to my channel. My name is hautemesstom, and thank you so much for clicking on this video. Today we're going to review the purchases that I made in July of 2022. If you are new to my channel, hi, welcome. My channel is all about loving my makeup collection as it currently is, being critical and cynical of new makeup releases, and just being very considerate about what I bring into my makeup collection. So this series is reflecting on things that I bought last year to see if they were well thought out purchases. Now, like the nature of my channel is like a little bit different now than it was last year, but I still think it's good to touch down. Now I'm getting a little bit more stuff in PR. Now sometimes I will buy something solely to review as opposed to buying it just for myself. But I do whenever I make a purchase that wouldn't be like click worthy or like for review or that anyone's really interested in, I still try to be considerate about those purchases. If you happen to like my channel, I would love to have you subscribe. Make sure to like this video, and I'm also on patreon.com if you would like to support me there. I do some extra content there. No matter what the price point you contribute, you get all of the benefits, and also that's where my podcast with Kackie currently lives. Thank you to all of my current patrons. You are the absolute best. Merch is down below. And finally, I was nominated in City Paper's Best of Pittsburgh 2023. I was nominated for Best YouTube Account. So in the description box down below, there'll be a link for you to go vote. Some people are voting every day. It's not letting me vote every day, so I don't know how you are all doing that, but I appreciate any votes that are thrown my way. Let's jump into my purchases. So the first thing I bought last July that I didn't actually spend money on was two of the pigments from Unseen Beauty. If you're not familiar with Unseen Beauty, they're this UK brand. They're really small. They only have like a couple of items. And at the time that I purchased the two pigments that I purchased, they only had those two products, but they have since launched some hair products. And I think they have something else coming that I'm kind of paying attention to. The reason I didn't end up paying for them is that I made my purchase and then it had like been some time and then they didn't ship them to me. And then I emailed them and they were like, we'll just ship them to you for free. And then they took a really long time to get to me. And I thought, maybe they aren't sending them to me. It was a whole thing where they came in like a little squeezy tube, like a metal squeezy tube. And the whole point of them was that whenever a flash would hit them in photography, it would like flash back. So there was a black one and a silver one, and the silver one was almost clear. It didn't really show up as a color. And I thought they would be like really cool whenever I was doing like Instagram looks, or if I was like ever going out where there might be like flashes. I thought that might be like a cool effect. However, what the reality of them was like, they were cool. They are a cool product. I felt like they never were flashy enough for me to feel like they were like worth my time to use. And whenever I was trying to use them on camera to like show how they worked, I feel like I couldn't get them to work. The only time that I could see it was when I was using the flash on my phone. Like, very strong lights coming from a direct angle never really worked for me because I was like, I would love to use it on camera and be able to like show, but even if I was like using this camera and then had my phone flashing onto it, it wouldn't, because I think that the light has to come directly behind the lens that is capturing the image. And it was just like, okay. So I also thought it would be more like, I have a couple pairs of shoes that when light hits them, the material that they're made of will suck up all of the flash and then like flash back a different color. So they're like they look like a matte gray, and then whenever you like shine light on them, they just like eat the light and then so like the only thing you can really kind of like see in those pictures is the shoe. So I thought it was gonna be like a little more like that, and it didn't turn out to be like that. So I have departed with these. I felt good that I like didn't pay for them. I don't think they're a bad product. They feel much more like a makeup artist on set really trying to do something specific, or like Instagram or TikTok worthy, versus being a makeup item for me to like wear. I think there's a place in makeup for makeup that is like for fun, for like very specific things, and I think that's what it's for. I wish it was a little less specific so I would find use in it beyond that. But I think it's a really cool item. I think it's cool. If that sounds like something you're interested in, please go check them out. They even dropped the price from whenever I initially tried to buy them. I think they're like $5 cheaper. I don't know that I consider it a bad purchase. I think I would always be curious about it if I never tried it on my own. In retrospect, I wish I would have only bought one of the colors. I didn't need both. I could have explored it with just the one color, but I did pass them on to a friend, so I hope that they're getting good use out of them. Next, I bought the Hourglass ambient light foundation. To be fair to me, they sold it. I like the ambient lighting powders from Hourglass. I think they're really beautiful. I think they're not like the perfect powder for me. I find that they're like not 100% the best for oily skin because I feel like they can leave me looking a little bit cakey, but they are really beautiful, especially if you are going on a date where you know there's gonna be some like sexy mood lighting. I think it's like really great powder for that. That's what they're designed to do. And they really do soft focus. They like really do some blurring. So they're like a beautiful powder and they're really handy if you do happen to have them or if you've ever been interested in them. If you ever do it on the blush, putting one of those over top of the blush will like blend it in a little bit more and make it look a little more natural. And that's what I mostly ended up using them for. But I feel like I've been, your skills grow and you feel like, you don't need them. But like if you ever, there's a pro tip for you. I learned that from my friend Brittany, aka Born Blushing here on YouTube. I did a whole video on this foundation. It just like wasn't good. Like I wanted it to blow my mind. I wanted it to feel like when I put it on, like I already had the ambient powder on. Like I wanted it to look like that. And it didn't. It was one of the worst products I tried last year. And I don't know that everyone agrees with me on that. I felt like it was like pretty heavy for what it was. I felt like it just had coverage. I don't feel like it did anything to make my skin look better beyond that. My favorite kind of complexion products are ones that aren't necessarily pigmented, but the ones that do things that make my skin look better with less coverage. So things that blur, things that, are very kind to imperfections on my face. Maybe they don't make those imperfections go away, but they make them look better, more seamless. Because the thing is, no matter how much you cover something, like say you have a pimple on your face or something, and you put something full coverage on top of it, that texture, that lump is still there. And so it's just like, are we really hiding anything? And like, yeah, sometimes in footage or on like in a photo shoot situation, yes, but in real life, no. So I want my skin to look its best as it can in real life. I'm not always looking for the best skin for camera. I know that there are some YouTubers who have like foundations that they like to wear on camera because they look good on camera, but they're like not the best in real life. I want it to be both things. And I'm okay if my skin doesn't look full coverage perfect on camera. That's okay because my skin isn't perfect. Like I think I have good skin, but I'm not looking. Anyway, so this Hourglass foundation, and Hourglass knows their target audience, right? Knows the age range, knows. I just don't think it was a good foundation for like anyone. It's like an okay foundation, but at that price point, at the price point that Hourglass charges for it, there are better foundations. It's either 65 or 55. You could pay $10 more and get the Surratt Dewdrop foundation. You could buy the Merit Perfecting Complexion Stick. These are like other foundations. Like a Merit stick is much less expensive than Hourglass. I remember like liking Maybelline foundations more than I like this Hourglass foundation. For $65, it has to be better than everything. And it isn't. It just simply wasn't. You can check out my video. I'll try to remember to link it up in the cards, but I will also try to remember to link it down below. You can go check it out if you want to know my full thoughts on that, but it sure exists. I think that's even what the title of the video is. Like, the Hourglass foundation sure exists, doesn't it? Like, it just doesn't do anything. It's like, just exists. I think had the foundation been good, it would have been a good purchase. I think my reasoning for buying the foundation, being interested in the foundation, were good reasons. In July of last year, my channel was in a bit of a boom. So I just had posted the Izamea videos and those got me a little bit of traction, got me a little bit of a boost of subscribers. So like falling on the tails of that, having a new foundation, like a new foundation launch, is good for my channel. Too, as previously mentioned, if it had done all the things that I thought it was going to do and basically what it sold itself on, I probably should have liked it, except I don't think the foundation delivered on them. So I don't think it was a bad purchase. I think the failure was the foundation. I don't think that my logic on the purchase was flawed. There are people in my life who are not as fussy with their makeup that could use like the same skin tone as me, and I just pass that along. So that's what I did with the Hourglass. I used it, wasn't for me, passed it on to a friend, so I didn't return it. But yeah, it didn't work out for me. The last thing I purchased last July, and this is something that I said come hell or high water that I wasn't going to buy, and it is the only thing from July of last year that is still in my makeup collection, is the Givenchy lipstick in Brick. And this was a shade that's limited edition, but like the last time I checked, which like wasn't super, like I would say like maybe 3 months ago I was wearing it, and I linked it in a video, it was still available. But this was the fall, from the fall collection of Givenchy it's summer. This is advertised or was advertised as a brick red. It's a beautiful matte sheer orange lipstick. And this was my first ever and only so far Givenchy lipstick. It is an incredible formula. Now when I swatch it, it looks not great. And let me tell you why. Because it is sheer and because it is matte, I think that it's not built for swatching, but when you put it on your lips, it looks so good. It looks unbelievably good. Like it looks excellent. And it's so comfortable, and the way it wears off your lips as you're wearing it is so great. And also because it was limited edition, it comes in this cute pink packaging, which doesn't make sense because it's like this fall color inside, but then it's like in this pink packaging. But that was a weird thing that happened last fall. I don't know if you recall this, but everything trended really colorful in the fall last year. It didn't move into berry tones because like normally like fall means like deep orange pumpkiny squash and berries is like where we head into the fall as we go into winter. That's not what happened last year. If you recall, like Gucci released a very colorful purple palette last fall, like fall into the winter. So none of it really made sense. Anyway, I'm so happy that I purchased this because I talked about it on Critical Sass and I was like, I don't need a lip product. I'm not really super into lip products. I was wrong. I was wrong. I love this lip color. It's not a lip color that gets the most play in my collection. I just did a declutter video, and the whole reason I'm wearing black lipstick is because I was like, oh yes, I love black lipstick. I just haven't worn it in a while. The thing with lipsticks like this, unlike my brown lipsticks, is that this, I have to think, like I start with my eyeshadow. So if I start, oftentimes my eyeshadow is pretty bold. So I have, and like, it's all about balancing. You can do bold eyes, blush, and lips. That's your business. That's just like not the way I prefer to do my makeup, or I think makeup looks good on me. But there's no rules to makeup, and I think I should reiterate that as I say that as like, what's my preference? And I also feel like I always end up, this is a little bit warm. It's a little bit of a warm toned color. I think I mostly land neutral and then I will go cool whenever it comes to my eyes. Like I don't, but the weird thing is I will wear an orange cheek so fast. But the orange lips, I have a couple beautiful orange lip shades. I just like, I don't know why I don't pull them out more. So I would like to see myself use this more, but I have no regrets about this. I don't know that it was a well thought out purchase. I think it was a purchase that worked for me because Critical Sass, if you're not familiar with my content, which is okay, it's where I talk about new makeup releases and I try to unpack makeup marketing. So I felt like I was really getting got. I remember seeing this and I was like, it's beautiful. It's like a beautiful lipstick. I was like, I really want that. I really want that. But like they're not inexpensive lipsticks. Givenchy is pricey. It was just like, I don't know if I want to blow some of my budget because I was very strict about my budget last year. My budget this year is like a little more loose. And I talked about that in my last budgeting video where it just, as my channel grows, my relationship to my makeup purchasing is a little bit different because my channel makes me enough money to like fund purchases for the channel to review, to make more money, to buy. It's like it's like a cycle now that is sustainable. But if I wasn't making money on YouTube, I would still be doing my budget a little more strict. So like, yeah, it was like, I don't want to go over budget by buying this, but I did buy it. I think I went a little bit over budget in July of last year, if I'm recalling correctly. Let me check my spreadsheet. It's like I act as if it's not literally pulled up. No, I didn't go over in July. I still had $3.86 left after my purchases. Every time I declutter, since I just did a declutter video, every time I declutter, I feel like those products that were lingering that I know I like, that I haven't used in a while, it's like, you need to be brought forward. Like, we need to start using you. And I got my lip collection, I got rid of quite a bit of lip product based on like, the fraction of what I had and got rid of was pretty good. So I think that I will maybe be a little bit better about just not using only brown lipsticks. Anyway, since it is a budgeting video, I'm talking a little bit. I have made some purchases recently, so I'm doing that contour video. So I have all kinds of contour products sitting in my for me to try. So today I used the Intuition pigment from Ritual Defeat. But I also have some drugstore for us to play with soon. So there's some two elf products. And I might be buying another drugstore product because someone asked me to get it. I'm waiting on like one thing to come back in stock before, and not that I'm going to be like doing my contour video right away, but I want to be able to like have them all to choose from, because something that's really important to me is like, what am I grabbing for? But I also did return something. So if you've been paying attention to my content, for a hot second, I had the Makeup by Mario Skin Enhancer Cream Bronzer situation. I know that's not what it's called, but I had it. I'll pop a photo of it up here. It was something that I thought was gonna like be a thing that I really enjoyed. Like I thought it was gonna be a thing that I really enjoyed. Just based on how I heard people talk about it, based on like my preferences, based on like something that I was like looking for, because I tend to like not I don't want to say I always overdo it on bronzer, but like bronzer I get carried away on. And which is interesting because I am pale and I like being pale. In fact, like, I wear sunscreen. Like it's not that like I won't accept a tan, but like also it makes my life easier for what I do here on the internet and like my makeup, like for me to kind of like have a more consistent skin tone all year round. And I also just am like a creature of being inside most of the time. So it's like I'd have to do some work to get a tan, right? Like I have to like leave my house and be outside, but it's too hot. It's too hot. It's too hot. And I know I live in Pittsburgh and there are places that are hotter than in Pittsburgh, but it's hot, okay? So I thought that having like a more natural, easy bronzer that I didn't have to think about as hard would be something that I would enjoy. I bought the shade Light. I use it in a couple of videos. I use it in a live stream. I asked my audience, I was like, I have this. What are you doing? Like, what are your thoughts? Like, what do you think? And so everyone said that who has like a fair skin tone like me was like, I got the light medium because it's like you're right, the light one doesn't show up. And then I also didn't really like the way it sat on my skin. I feel like it enhanced, like it did it like kind of like I felt like it did the opposite. I felt like whenever I put it on, it like enhanced the texture of my skin. Like I could see the texture on my skin more. I don't think I have a lot of texture for it. I just felt like it like kind of looked heavy. And I also felt like I had to apply a lot. And this is probably due to the shade. I had to apply a lot. And I'm like, this is why people are hitting pan on this so fast. It's like you have to put a lot of it on to get anything, even like a subtle bronzer. Like some people said I might not just be for you, and some people said maybe try it in the light medium shade. Ultimately, I just returned it. I try to avoid returning things. But unlike the Hourglass foundation where I'm like, someone will like this, it felt like one of those things that if I try to give it to someone who's like not really into makeup, they too wouldn't know what to do with it. So I just think ultimately it was like best for me to return it. And that was one of those things where it was like I didn't buy it for my channel. I bought it for me and my own curiosity. So it was like, why would I keep that around, right? It wasn't like I bought it for the also the benefit of my channel. So these are all things I take into consideration. I don't even remember the last time I returned makeup. I think it was the Fenty Eavesdrops was the last time. That might be a lie, but I'm fairly certain that is the last thing I returned makeup wise. I try really hard to avoid having to do that, but it is what it is. I did what I did. I think I did what's best for me. That's it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. If you happen to be new to my channel and you're not yet subscribed and you would like to be, you can do that. Make sure to like this video. I am on patreon.com if you'd like to support me there. There's no pressure to. It's there if you'd like to do it. Merch down below. Don't forget to vote for me in Best of Pittsburgh. That's also linked down below. And remember to follow your hope and you will find me. Bye-bye. Friends.